Men and women seem to come from separate planets. They behave and react to the same situations in completely different ways. In this video, we have gathered interesting and super important facts about women's way of thinking, their intimate preferences and weaknesses. Watch it to the end in order to better understand women and use the peculiarities of their psychology to your advantage. Let's get into it. Women love to receive compliments, even if they don't openly admit it. Give her sincere praise and watch the smile never leave her face. A woman needs all her erogenous zones to be stimulated. She will experience euphoria and orgasm only after a man shows interest in her entire body, not just her intimate areas. So don't forget to bite her ear and use other similar techniques in moments of intimacy with a woman. Let's dwell on the topic of sex in a little more detail. Between noisy and quiet sex, women definitely choose the former. It helps them to relax more throughout the process. Women get more turned on when their partner undresses them. For a woman, it is equally important to receive and give pleasure. For almost all of them, foreplay matters a lot. Moreover, many consider foreplay, not penetration, to be the most important part, while men do not perceive sex to be sex without the latter. Men prefer kissing before sex, while women prefer it afterwards. The minimum size of the man's manhood for a woman's full satisfaction should be 4.33 inches. Women most often have sexual desire aroused after watching romantic movies. Women over the age of 40 reach orgasm much more easily, and these feelings for them are much more intense and vivid than when they were younger. By the way, women of this age are also more likely to engage in casual sex. What a woman needs after sex are hugs. They crave hugs after having a great experience of intercourse, and they don't like it when their partner falls asleep right away. For girls, attention after intimacy is very important. If you want to be remembered by her as the best of the best, then you must find enough strength to hug her after making love, tell about your feelings, and mumble tender words. Such signs of attention are extremely valuable for the fair sex. If, after getting intimate, a woman hugs you and falls asleep on your chest, it means that you are really important to her and she enjoys your company. If she doesn't, she may be interested in you only for her own pleasure. A slightly lower tone of voice than usual indicates that a woman wants to have sex. At least 5% of women love being pulled by the hair during lovemaking. But what women really don't like are questions asked in bed, so try not to ask unnecessary questions. It's better to just listen to her. However, with all that said, women can't stand being treated as an object. Even though some of them tend to frequently switch partners, they themselves cannot stand to be seen as a sex doll. In other words, a woman will always notice how you treat her. The number of a woman's former partners is taboo. While for many men, the number of sexual relations is a source of pride, a woman, on the contrary, prefers to keep silent about how many gentlemen she has had in her life. Men tend to exaggerate this number, and women tend to downplay it. This happens because of the idea of a lady having a busy sex life in the past, scaring away and upsetting most of the guys. In fact, the worst thing that can happen is that a man's self-esteem will suffer, thus negatively affecting the microclimate within the couple. For that reason, women intuitively anticipate such a negative outcome and avoid it in every way possible. Do you know how a woman tries to determine the number of sexual partners a man has had at the first meeting? By his sense of humor. Yep, you've heard that right. A study by British scientists has shown that men's sense of humor is related to the amount of testosterone in their blood. Usually, men with high testosterone levels are more likely to be involved in outside affairs and display aggression. In other words, according to scientists, the better a man's sense of humor, the higher his male hormone levels and the more sexual partners he has potentially had. Consequently, such guys instinctively attract girls much more than those who cannot crack a good joke. Women are more willing to meet and start dating humorous men. Moving on. Psychologists have determined that a woman needs only 45 seconds to rate an unfamiliar man. Of those, she spends about 8 seconds checking out the eyes, 10 seconds forming a general impression of the figure, 7 seconds on hair, another 10 seconds on lips and chin, and 5 seconds on shoulders. And for the last 5 seconds, they look at your hands and the presence of a wedding ring. Pay special attention to the cleanliness and appearance of these areas. Women also have a more developed sense of smell. Therefore, always make sure that you exude a pleasant scent. Almost every woman dreams of having a muscular, broad-shouldered, handsome man by her side, who would also behave like a gentleman and not hide his feelings. Simply put, according to women, a perfect man should be physically strong, but have a sensitive emotional disposition. Nothing is more pleasant to a woman than her name being spoken out loud. That's why the first thing you must remember when meeting someone is their name. Not the position, not the occupation, but just her name. Think of it as the basic rule for establishing any relationship with a woman. As a rule, a woman argues only with those who really matter to her. There's no need to waste her time arguing with those she is not interested in. For women, money is a source of stability. It's almost impossible to find a lady who doesn't care how much her boyfriend earns. For some, a guy with an average salary seems to be enough, while others don't lower the bar below successful businessmen. Why does this happen? From the point of view of women's psychology, financial success, or financial prospects of their partner are about providing care for the future of children, their development, and their health. Of course, there are situations when a woman falls in love with a leech or an insecure man who lacks career ambitions, but this sounds more like an exception than a rule. It may be a bit paradoxical, but at the same time, great wealth makes a man less attractive to a woman. A study by psychologists, the results of which were published in the scientific journal Personality and Individual Differences, unexpectedly showed that women find men with an average income more attractive. This study by psychology experts has debunked the common myth of women looking for rich men and seeking to build long-term relationships with them. According to the study's results, a girl is more likely to prefer an attractive guy with an average income than an attractive guy with a high income. People behind the study believe that this may have something to do with a woman's fear and low self-esteem. You see, she subconsciously assumes that she doesn't deserve a rich partner, but also suffers from the fear that she will have to share him with other ladies. Women lie half as often compared to men. British scientists have found out that men lie on average 6 times a day to their loved ones, relatives, friends, and colleagues. Sure, in most cases, there is nothing criminal about telling little lies. Usually it's something like, "It's fine, things are going well, I'm handling everything, nothing bothers me." This is the kind of lie that men resort to several times a day. It can be explained as well. This way, a man protects his loved ones from unnecessary worries and takes care of tough situations. The fairer sex, on the other hand, lie on average only 3 times during the same period. Women are more skilled at reading body language. They are more accurate than men in detecting unspoken thoughts expressed in facial expressions, postures, and voice intonation. So bro, don't even try to fool them if you're not super good at it. However, it takes women longer to make a decision than men. Regardless of how minor the subject matter is, most women tend to think too much of it. Overthinking is their innate trait. Once she makes a decision, she is more likely to stick to that decision, making it almost impossible to change her mind. Women with a higher IQ have a tougher time finding a date. Smart women would rather stay single than be with the wrong person. A woman lives in her relationships. She rarely compares her current relationship with her previous ones. As a rule, women live by emotions, fully dedicating their hearts to someone they love. Men have a much simpler approach to this matter. They can take their behavior from past relationships, compare them, and even confuse their partner's names. Women do need to hear that they are loved. In fact, in most cases, they will feel sexual desire and will only allow intimacy with a man when they have strong feelings for him. Guys, on the other hand, will open up to feelings only after they have had an amazing night with a girl. Women do not forgive cheating. Every girl will tell you that a relationship where she experienced betrayal is over for her forever. On the other hand, guys go the opposite way. Once they find themselves in such circumstances, they try to fight for their relationships, even despite cheating. They also prefer to think things through. This feature of the female psyche is related to how emotions dominate logic. A classic example, a message with some girl's name in the evening. Some women immediately explode and stir up a scandal, while others may hide their resentment and start to sort everything out the next day. And even if they hear a logical explanation, they start thinking about the situation as well as visualizing negative scenarios in their minds. Obviously, this does not happen to everyone and not at all times, but when the above does happen, then it can be explained by the peculiarities of the female psyche, their ability to overthink possible scenarios. Dependence on other people's opinions differs between the sexes. Men are not as dependent on others' opinions. That is why they are more likely to take decisive action. A woman would rather evaluate her actions, repeatedly replay all possible scenarios in her head and her behavior in case of different outcomes, and predict the reactions of people around her. She is less prone to risk due to peculiarities of her brain structure, which can be explained by evolutionary reasons. However, women start taking more risks when they grow older. It has been estimated that women spend almost a year of their lives deciding what to wear. Society and the media encourage ladies to sacrifice comfort for style. I am unique. That's what every woman thinks about herself. And although this statement may be true only partially due to peculiarities of the female psyche, they believe in this idea for 100%. Nature has designed such an attitude to help attract the perfect partner who will be able to produce healthy offspring, protect and care for their family. So if you want to become the one, you should remind her of her unique features from time to time. You can share other facts in the comments down below. Thank you for your likes and watching our other videos, man. Good luck and see you soon.